Okay, let's unpack this.
Hmm.
It's the story of an iconic figure, recognized globally. White suit, the goatee.
Instantly recognizable.
Right. But his life before all that fame, it was just, well, a string of failures, really. Lots of second chances needed.
It really is a story about incredible persistence. That's why we wanted to do this deep dive into Harland David Sanders, the founder of KFC.
Yeah.
We're going to trace his, let's say, chaotic path to success and see what lessons we can maybe pull out for today. And think about this. When he died in 1980, his KFC empire, valued at $2 billion in annual sales.
$2 billion.
Yep. 6,000 outlets, 48 countries. And he really only got the whole thing properly launched when he was already in his 60s.
That context is just...
Wow.
But, okay, to really get his grit, you have to look at those earlier years, the disasters.
Oh, absolutely.
He was born way back in 1890, drops out of 7th grade at 12. His reason, he apparently said, algebra was what drove me off. Left home at 13.
13. And his career path after that was, well, kind of all over the place. He was a railroad fireman for a while.
Okay.
Sold insurance, got fired from that for insubordination, apparently. He even tried practicing law.
Wait, he practiced law. How did that go?
Not well. It ended pretty quick after he supposedly got into an actual fist fight in the courtroom.
No. With who?
With his own client.
He fought his own client in court. Okay, that tells you a lot about his temperament, maybe.
You could say that. It probably explains why, he'd start things like a ferry company, make it successful.
Right.
And then sell it to start something totally different, like an acetylene lamp business that just failed.
Completely.
Acetylene lamps.
From ferries. Huh.
Yeah. One biographer basically summed up the repeated failures as being down to his bullheadedness, a lack of self-control, and impatience.
So all those traits we see later.
Exactly. It's easy to just write off that early life, isn't it? Just bad choices. But maybe those failures kind of forged him.
Must have. Because somehow he finally channeled that energy. 1930, right. Started selling food.
That's the start of it. From a Shell service station, of all places, North Corbin, Kentucky, selling chicken, yeah, but also country ham, steaks.
Just good home cooking, basically.
Pretty much. And by 1935, he gets made an honorary Kentucky colonel.
Ah. There it is.
But the key thing, the chicken recipe. That took time. He was 50. It was July 1940 when he finally nailed that secret recipe for pressure-fried chicken.
50. So he's been cooking for a decade already at the station.
Yeah, refining it. But the big move, the concept we know, that came much later. He was actually 62 in 1952 when he franchised that recipe for the very first time out in Utah.
Okay, 62. But here's the bit that always gets me. The real pivot point. He's 65, past retirement age, even then, and a new interstate highway bypasses his restaurant. Just like that, his main income, gone.
Vanished. He's left with his savings, which weren't huge, and just $105 a month from Social Security.
Imagine that. $105 a month.
Think about that pressure. We're talking about a guy who, basically out of sheer desperation in his mid-60s, kind of invents the modern food franchise model.
He had to make it work.
Totally. He starts traveling the U.S., literally sleeping in his car, going restaurant to restaurant, cooking his chicken for owners, hoping they'd sign on as franchisees.
That image, sleeping in his car at 65.
Turning that Social Security check into a global business, I mean, that's the ultimate lesson in just refusing to quit. Stubbornness paying off.
Okay, so perseverance, that's the clear takeaway. But you mentioned something deeper.
Yeah, I think the less obvious lesson, maybe the more important one, is his absolute unwavering commitment to quality. It seems like those same traits that caused failures earlier.
The bullheadedness, the impatience.
Exactly. That lack of self-control, maybe. Later on, it translated into this uncompromising standard for his chicken.
Ah, interesting. So it wasn't just about selling franchises. It was about his chicken done his way.
Absolutely. Even after he sold the company in 1964 for $2 million, by the way.
Nice sum back then.
Decent, yeah. He stayed on as a salaried ambassador, traveled like crazy 200,000 miles a year, but he became super critical, intensely critical of the new owner's cutting costs, that fiery temperament. It defined his success and his later relationship with the brand.
And that's where we get those legendary quotes, right? His feelings about the changes.
Oh, yeah. He famously called the simplified KFC gravy. I think it was something like having a wallpaper taste.
Wallpaper taste.
Ouch! And apparently if he visited a franchise and the food wasn't up to scratch, he wasn't quiet about it, he'd sometimes just push it onto the floor, call it goddamn slop publicly.
Oh, wow. He really cared that much.
Yeah.
That's passion, I guess.
It shows that force of personality, right?
Right.
And that fierce dedication to what he originally created. That's arguably what made the brand strong in the first place.
So we've gone from this really turbulent youth, loads of failed jobs,
Like over a dozen, easily.
to launching this global giant after most people would have retired. The achievements, well, they really do speak for themselves.
And don't forget the personal brand he built. That white suit. That wasn't just for ads. He wore it pretty much constantly for the last 20 years of his life. It was him.
Okay, so here's maybe a final thought for you to mull over. Sanders spent those last 2 decades being the brand, always in the suit, always outspoken. How many founders today, how many people are willing to stand by their core product with that kind of, well, ferocious personal passion? So much passion that they'd actually sue, or at least publicly slam the company they founded if they felt the quality dipped.
Yeah, that's something to think about, isn't it? As you're maybe chasing your own next big idea, how much are you willing to fight for its integrity?